favorite podcasts.
G107 is Toronto's rock station, home to the best rock music on earth, and the Daily Derringer podcast.
So I came in this morning, show up for work as always, and there's an angry Garth. Garth was just not pleased. You know the guy's sending you signals, and it's not an overt, hey, I'm not happy today. Now, on the surface, Johnny is a bigger basketball fan than hockey fan. He had a good night. Team wins 4-1 over Atlanta. They are 4-1 over Orlando. Atlanta with the 1, the Raptors with the 4. Close to a blowout, 19-point win last night. So you think, hey, here's a guy who should be happy, but he was not a happy man. And it's been brutal all day. We all work with that person, right? Who wears their emotions on their sleeve. And sometimes they go off, and sometimes they just keep it to themselves. They usually end up murdering 25 people. 25 people at a time.
Right, so in Dateline interviews, you're like, yeah, I knew it was inevitable.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of time.
If a cop was to come to me later on today and knock on the door and say, ooh, your friend Mr. Garbutt did something, I'd say, he was a quiet man. He was a quiet guy. All right, John.
Ryan told a story about this.
He's not even acknowledging us, eh? See, this is a great example.
The chase here. It's like I just looked at my Fitbit, and my heart rate is at an
What's it at? Like 200?
At 108. Like he's a horse frothing in the stable right now.
You're under 2 pills, buddy. Settle down.
Yeah. But what's interesting about this story for you, Johnny, is that you're going through something similar.
Yes.
And I appreciate that you're taking the opposite look. So what the story is, there's a guy who writes for sports in Philadelphia, and he's got this neighborhood. And in this neighborhood, in his street in particular, they have something called Next Door. It's like a social network. And it's a pretty cool concept, he thought, in that it was neighbors looking out for each other. And if there's crime going on or something fishy going on, it's an easy way for you all to reach out to each other.
I love the idea. Sounds bogus.
Right.
I don't like the idea,
No.
by the way. I do. No, I have no desire to get to know my neighbors. You know what?
Yeah.
We're not going to invite you over for a barbecue. We expect you to extend the same courtesy.
Okay.
We'll wave.
Yeah,
hey, waves for sure, but I don't need to know anymore.
I like it. So I have a neighbor that just texted me the other day saying, hey, just so you know, your garage is open. It was like 10 o'clock at night. So I was like, cool, thanks. Like I forgot. So it's got that kind of vibe to it, which I think on the surface is a pretty good idea. Until he digs a little deeper and finds out it's not necessarily about that. And this one guy in particular is having a new baby, and he is asking for help. He's like, listen, my wife's going to be having a baby soon, and we're looking if you guys in my neighborhood can provide like a meal train for us.
What is a meal train?
Never heard of it before either. Essentially what he's asking is for people in his neighborhood to provide food for them because they won't have time to cook and stuff because they've got a new baby.
Do you mind if I ask a question, John?
Please do.
Because I think you may have an answer to this. So there I am. I live in the neighborhood. I live down the street. I've already got no time for this guy because I know what kind of guy he is. And I've got 4 kids, and I'm taking them. My wife is taking them 3 places. I'm going to work. She's going to work. We're taking our kids to ballet. We're trying to figure out how we're going to pay for the soccer season.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make this guy lasagna?
Dude, even if you were going to be bamboozled just a little bit, and you're like, I take pity on these people. I take pity, and I'm going to drop off a casserole. I'm just going to drop one off. This guy, John, takes it to a level that I didn't think humankind could. Okay? Now, Ryan, you also said, what happens if they're not home?
If they're not home, he's going to leave a cooler around the back so you can just throw the food in the cooler. And also, if you don't cook necessarily, that's not your bag, then by all means, let me know when we're around and we can hook up and you can vacuum for us and dust for us. Because he's scared he's not going to get a great deal of sleep, and he wants to be there to support his wife while she recovers from the childbirthing process.
So with
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
So with
Johnny.
Ryan-
I'm formulating a thought.
So what Ryan just said was, out of the goodness of your heart, you're going to give us food. I don't have time to answer the door, so I'm going to leave a receptacle outside for you to put it in. Don't knock. Don't ring the doorbell. We're not going to talk. Just leave it and go. Just leave it and get out of here. But this guy, John, takes it to a level that is so, to me, mind-blowing, that to the point where I would start a rally to get them to move. I want you out of the neighborhood. I want you gone.
Okay. I'll play devil's advocate here.
Please do.
Kind of, but not really, because I do believe this. These idiots went onto a social network site with this guy.
Yeah. Yes.
This guy now thinks he's in a position where they're going to do this for him. Because I can tell you, if there was no conversation other than a wave, he would not have asked for any of this. This is why the idea is stupid.
Okay.
Right now you feel like, I know these people. Like I'm telling Jack his garage door is open. Oh, hey, there you go. He now thinks he can actually ask for this stuff. The idiots are the neighbors.
Sure.
Because you don't ask for that sort of stuff unless you've got a reasonable assumption that it's actually going to happen.
It wouldn't blow my mind that if I lived on the street and I knew that Jack and whoever was having a kid and I said to my neighbor, hey, you know what? Let's get him a pie and drop a pie off and help them out there. That's fine. But for you to ask for it is a totally different thing. And not only did they ask for food, they asked for specific food. And on the social media site, they put up everything from what they enjoy for breakfast,
He's just about to lose it, isn't he?
what they like for dinner, and the one that drives me freaking nuts is their snack ideas. So don't give us a meal. In between meals, we like to snack.
What if I dropped off a bag of baked Lays?
That's fine, no problem. But it's not as specific as what I really enjoy. And unfortunately, John, this guy's a nut bar because baked Lays aren't on here.
No, see.
And that's nice and easy. You purchase that. I bet you got to make your snacks.
They would like dark chocolate, but only with 70% cacao.
This guy's actually giving a percentage of... Wow.
70% cacao.
That's awesome.
Cacao off, because you're not getting it. And you're also using a word that, if you say it, and I'll be honest, if you, John Derringer, you, Ryan Parker, ever said this word to me, we would no longer be friends. It's just the way it is. Muesli snacking cookies.
You're getting some pirate cookies from me, bud.
Yeah. Half a sleeve.
Yes.
Half a sleeve tops.
If any cookies there are. They also have the audacity to ask for an Italian antipasto tray. Do you know how much a sopressata is? You're not getting it. You're not getting it.
See, okay, I believe that this guy threw a line into the water, maybe even in person, and he got the response he wanted. And that's why you never, ever go on a local social media site.
This is maybe a life lesson for everyone.
I think so.
Because
look, our neighbors don't even speak English.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
perfect.
right.
They know how to wave, and I wave back. Hi, hi. Every single frickin' day, it's the same thing. Hi, hi, and you go. You know what? We're being friendly. They do not speak our language, and it's awesome.
You know that the most forgiving people in the world are those over 65. I like to call them seniors. Some are grandparents, grandma, grandfather. You can get them, if you needed to take pity, and maybe they would make you a soup. And they said that they like soups.
What kind of soup?
Lunch ideas. You would think chicken noodle. How about a hearty vegetable? Whatever you want to do. We like spiced lentil, sweet potato, and kale whole wheat pockets. They also love, as well as the specific. They got so specific here. They want a big batch of steel cut oats cooked in milk. Heaven forbid you use water.
I gotta tell you, the balls on this guy. This is incredible.
You know what? I take all those neighbors, and we wouldn't all get together for a meal train. We'd all get together for a daisy chain in his bedroom to say enough. Because the other thing he wanted was a mental health check-in, so just to make sure that they're doing okay. Would you not agree, Johnny? Because you're really upset about this the most. That maybe if they live in a neighborhood where they do kind of get along and hang out, maybe these people would have done a little something like made a casserole or something,
Sure.
just because they're like, hey, remember when we were young and we didn't have anyone helping us out? I'm going to make them an extra dinner tonight and send it over there. Now you're not going to do it.
But why would you need a mental health check-in if you're friends with people? If we all lived on the same thing, you knew I just had a baby, you wouldn't just come over and just be like, hey, everything good? Everything all
Okay,
right? Just checking
and
in.
they haven't even had the baby yet.
No.
Oh, that
Yeah,
this
have fun.
is so mind-blowing.
But you're not equipped to be a parent.
Can I throw out a number at you guys?
Sure.
Okay. So this guy and his wife want their neighbors to do all this stuff for them. They're just a blooming sense of entitlement. 107 billion people have lived on this planet. 107 billion people have been infants. 107 billion divided by 2 is somewhere around 53.5 billion people have been parents.
Nothing special.
So if you lop off those who decided or couldn't have kids, let's say 40 billion men, 40 billion women have had children
But
Guess
John,
what?
in history.
But John, did they get through it without having escarole sausage and white bean soup? You can't answer that.
There is currently a lady in rural Romania who's about to give birth in a field, her 17th child.
Yep.
And she's going to be back working 15 minutes from now.
Are you saying she just get a mental health day?
She's not getting a daisy chain or whatever.
But how is that woman who's going back to work a half an hour after giving birth getting all her energy if she's not having squash and carrot stew with quinoa, John? How is that happening, guys?
Well, and you don't have to go that far. Like, look at our parents and definitely grandparents who had 10, 12 children. You touched upon this a little while ago where people had 12, 14 kids because they knew some of them weren't going to make it.
You look, for instance, at that early generation of British rock stars,
Yeah.
right? Your Rolling Stones, many bands of that, the Beatles certainly one. Anyone of that vintage who would now be, say, somewhere around 75 years old, they were all born during World War II,
Yep.
where their city was being bombed nightly by the Germans.
That's right. Think about that. And they didn't ask for soup. You know what they had? They had a little bit of bread and cheese.
So
my own parents grew up in that.
So
my
when-
dad didn't have indoor plumbing. Oldest of 5. My mom had to move from London, England to West Sussex because of the war.
But did he have lentil quinoa blend?
When your father was in the tube station as the bombs were going off, right?
Yes.
When Barry was there,
Yes.
did he get any slices of frozen, friendly spinach feta breakfast wraps? That's what I need to know. How did Barry survive that ride?
With a muesli chaser.
No, he got a healthy plate full of German bombs.
So are you telling me that he didn't request Greek yogurt with a fat content of no more than 5%?
He does not go that detailed.
5%, guys! Don't give him half-fat Greek yogurt. He's not gonna have it.
Oh, you gotta love the hipsters.
That would be
eh?
the balls. The best of all is you would bring him a meal, and then he's like, "Nah, you know what?
I'm good.
Dude, is that 80% cacao?
I'm a
Is that
little-
get it? Half out of off my property, bro.
I'm lactose intolerant. I can't handle the
80%
yogurt."
cacao? What am I, a freaking animal?
Oh, you gotta love the hipsters. eh?
Oh,
Oh my God, that's just precious. Precious.
that's the problem. They're too precious.
Precious.
Oh.
Come here, Precious. We've got 80% cacao. Get out of here. Get out of here. You suck, Mom.
Hey, what do you expect me to parent myself? Oh, what do you want me to have kids and like take care of them? No, I just want to have unprotected sex and have someone bring me some spinach dip. With that taro, that bread.
Come
that
on,
you tear
Johnny.
up.
That one made you laugh,
It
buddy.
did, it
He
did.
made you laugh, didn't he?
Hey, oh my God, this has got 40% cacao. Ugh, I'm gonna get fat eating this. What is this, an O. Henry? You expect me to eat this? Take it back to that special, the store that only sells chocolate. Would you get this at a gas station? Oh my God, I'm gonna feed this to myself? Do you want me to die or something?
Oh, man.
Can you breastfeed my kid for me? My wife doesn't want her boobs to sag.
Wanted. Wet nurse.
Daily Derringer Podcast, it seems, Johnny, at least once a week you take us to the bedroom, so to speak.
Yeah, I really like to dig into your personal lives.
Yeah, you do, and this is very personal because you're talking about safe words when it comes to sex. Johnny, do you have a safe word?
Of course, it's...
My safe word will be whiskey.
Boys, do things get so hot and heavy in the bedroom that you and the significant other have to say, listen, things are about to get real crazy right now.
Uh-huh.
Things are going to get touched. And when it gets too far or crosses the line, give me your safe word.
Ah,
No, I don't have to worry too much about a safe word.
our safe word is children.
Yeah, that's right. That's the safe word.
Yeah.
When they're knocking at the door.
Me too.
Yes.
I don't have one. Things don't go that far. But in Hollywood, when you're filming the scenes with somebody else you may not know, there's a lot of people around, and if things go too far, now in Hollywood, for quite a while, they've had safe words. And one actress has come out and said, here are some of the safe words that we use. So if you're a best boy or a key grip and you hear this, it's time to stop filming.
Big sex scene on the weekend on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't watch the show when I heard about
Yeah, it was. And she thought it was a prank.
Really?
So wasn't she doesn't normally do these kind of scenes? Is that what I'm
Yeah, no.
understanding?
Well, and then you know what? It's also weird too in that situation where when you grow with a show, as so many millions have with Game of Thrones, and somebody is really, really young when they start on the show.
Yes.
And I think that is part of what freaked a lot of people out. She was like a kid when the show started, and you go, now you're 8 in, right? And so she's 8 years older, or well, actually significantly more than 8 years because it hasn't been every single year. So
now she's an adult and does this, and so you watched her grow up, and now you're the lighting rig guy watching her get busy.
Precisely.
Is this Maisie Williams? Is that the one? Is that her name? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is actually, I think, 2011. So yeah, 8 years.
So you're like 12 or whatever, and 13 when it starts.
And now all of a sudden you're 21.
Yeah.
But to an audience, it's like, wow.
Sure.
And apparently Maisie Williams thought it was she thought it was a prank. And I thought they were joking about this, and it turned out no. They weren't kidding.
Did she have to throw out a safe word? Like some of the ones that are used that are very popular in Hollywood right now are pineapple, sweet potato, or mayonnaise.
Why food?
They say that it's all about using an everyday word to deflate a high-pressure situation. So if you're in between the sheets with someone, you've got your nude patch on and the lights are going.
I'd avoid kumquat.
Yeah,
that's
Probably not the best
Sure.
one.
Yeah.
Fucking real?
I don't have one. I don't think I ever will need to have one.
No.
And if I am in a situation where one is needed, I don't want to be there.
I think there would be a certain excitement as a guy who doesn't have a safe word. There would be a certain excitement of living a life where a safe word was required.
Yes.
So if let's say the year is 1986 and you're John Derringer out on the town doing your thing, and a lady comes up and says, "Hey, let's go to my place." You're like, "Oh yeah, let's go." She said, "Just before we get started, I gotta let you know, you're gonna need a safe word."
Oh my God, I'm already scared.
Do you stay or do you go?
Has she already produced like nipple clamps and
I don't know what's in her
hockey ball?
drawers. I don't know what's in her drawers.
No, I've never been a safe word kind
Me
of guy.
neither.
My wife's got a safe phrase. She told me it's "hurry up, my husband's home."
So if you ever find yourself in a situation and you're in a filming environment and somebody's yelling out mayonnaise,
I don't see ever finding ourselves in a filming environment.
Robert Kraft says, "Oh my God, it's the cops." That means stop.
The Daily Derringer Podcast.
Daily Derringer Podcast. Right now, how after a Super Bowl, heaven forbid you wear the losing team's gear, right?
Yes.
And last night, if you're listening on Wednesday, was the Leafs Super Bowl, and they got let down.
Yeah, for sure.
So why would you rock that gear?
No. I have a feeling a child in the third world country will be wearing a Jake Gardner Leafs jersey this summer.
You notice nobody's wearing any Leaf gear around here today, eh?
Wave that off.
Yeah. Saw the guy with the flag on the car coming into work this morning. It was dark out, so I couldn't really see. I noticed he had a flag on the car, and as he got closer, I noticed it was a Bruins flag.
Oh.
I wanted to ram him. If it wasn't for insurance, I would have just taken a left right into him.
I was hoping you were going to say, because of the color scheme and everything, you got close and you thought it was Bruins, and it was like a Hamilton Ticats flag.
No, it wasn't. Okay, here's a question for you. So, you end up signing up for all kinds of email stuff that you didn't want in the first place. You go to a website and they start tracking you around. You make the mistake of giving them your... So anyway, there is a whole whack of them. One of them is a company. I've never bought anything from them, but they sell like hats and stuff. And I guess I was looking at a Leaf baseball cap maybe a couple of months ago, and the company's called 47 Canada. They make hats. You're familiar,
Yeah.
Johnny. You like your sporting caps. So today, just this morning, they put out an email, which actually came out late last night, like after the game was over. It said, "Thank you," and then the Toronto Maple Leafs logo, "Honor, Courage, Pride. Use the promo code to buy Leaf stuff." And I thought, is this not the worst day of the entire year to be hawking Leaf stuff? Like, what kind of discount would they have to give you to buy a Leaf hat today?
The deepest of deep.
Like 5%.
Look,
Like 95% off.
Oh yeah, you're paying 5% for
Yeah.
it. You got to waive this off. I'm going to say for at least a week. I mean, I'd even go months, but today is the worst day. I'd rather buy like a Christmas sweater right now. You know what I mean? Like, you'd have better business selling ugly Christmas sweaters
Yeah.
today than a Leafs gear.
I think a lot of people took their jerseys off after the game last night, like hucked it down the stairs to the basement to the laundry, done. Get out of here. Last thing you want to do is go online, fill up your online basket full of new gear. Not right now.
You really throw a wrench into things and show up wearing a Leaf jersey today. Show up wearing a Gardner jersey.
Okay. We always say, what's the age? If a kid wears a Leaf jersey today, it's okay.
Hey, it's kids.
Right. It's like when you bring a baseball glove to the game. There's a certain age.
Kids wearing a Leaf t-shirt tomorrow, I'm good with that.
Kids still, because they're children, they still believe in stuff. They still believe this team has a chance of going further even next year. So I'm going to wear it today. It's cute.
Well, they're the kind of kids you can convince that we'll all sit down and watch Game 8.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
You can get away with that
Right.
one.
You're 34 and you work in IT in Toronto and you're wearing your jersey to work today. That's a problem.
Johnny Garbutt's going to be wearing his singlet, though, as his team moved on last night. It's going to be, it just goes to show, too, that, even though this is largely considered a hockey town, basketball's a huge sport here, that grief and anger and disappointment will always take precedence over happiness. And we saw it on Twitter last night. Like, it was like, hey, great, the Raptors win, let's go Babcock. All right.
Yeah, no, and that was a decisive win. And I think that coming in against Philadelphia, it's going to be a tougher series. And I don't think Raptor fans need to sit back on this team. I think it's going to be pretty tough.
Kevin Pillar was here last night.
Yeah, he was too.
They made a nice video for him.
Came back, super bad.
Yeah, it looked like he had a correct.
We're only a couple months away from the CFL, boys.
Yeah, we got that too.
Yeah.
All right. So see, we're just trying to find the positives here. But well, look, we said it from the very first this morning. We're all Leaf fans. We've invested a lot of emotion in the 82 games plus 7 of this season. We need a day.
That's right.
Just a day. Tomorrow we're going to come back. I said we're going to give it 60% tomorrow, probably closer to 35.
Thank you.
But we're going to show up anyway, and we're going to be in a better mood. We're going to be in a better frame of mind. But we do need at least 24 to maybe 36 hours of decompression time.
And just think, well, all of us in Toronto will all be well rested because we don't have those pesky playoff games to keep us up.
That's true, too.
Right?
Great for the sleep.
Yes.
You are a half-full guy.
Daily Dare podcast, there's like t-shirts with like different slogans like "Don't worry, be happy," FBI, which stands for female
Full
body
inspector.
Yeah, full body inspector or a female body inspector. Right? This one, I think that Johnny brings up would be ironic, I guess.
If you see a sign that says "Don't walk," don't walk. Right?
Yeah.
If you see this shirt, just do it.
Yes, looks can be deceiving. So when you see somebody, let's say a guy, and he's got like tattoos all over his face and a t-shirt on that says "Go screw yourself," or FTW, right? It says FTW on the shirt. I'm probably gonna keep my distance. Sure. I don't think I'll be starting up a conversation with this guy.
I would judge.
Got the Post Malone on and the FTW on the shirt. It's like, okay, all right, cool. Or Post Fatone, as it were. So this guy, actually rather smart move. What would you think if you see a guy walking down the street, he's coming toward you, and he's got a shirt on that says "Be a good human"?
No, I think it's all right. That's a nice thing, right?
Maybe a bit of an SJW.
Sure.
Right? But decent guy.
I've seen worse.
Probably eats his vegetables, his fruit, stays away from lamb. Right? This kind of guy.
Yeah.
Be a good human.
Sure.
And he's telling you, you too should be a good human. I'm doing my best. If I see somebody in a shirt that says "Be a good human," I'm assuming that the person wearing it is also doing their part to be a good human.
I don't think he's poaching animals.
No.
Right?
Well, in this case, the guy stealing $100,000 worth of jewelry.
No, he didn't.
And he got caught. So obviously the shirt didn't do what he had hoped it would do.
That's ironic. Is that ironic?
In this case, it would be ironic. Yes.
How did he end up stealing all this stuff?
He broke into a jewelry store and was caught. So he's obviously a moron, too.
Well, and that's the thing, too. That shirt, like, if you were a witness, that's easy to read, right? Oh, yeah, he had a shirt that said "Be a good human," ironically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they said that, I love this when this is said about big cities. Atlanta, which is where I took it, Atlanta may have had 1 or 2 bad apples, but seems like the majority of us are good humans. You put a few million people in a city, and you're going to get some bad ones.
Yeah.
But there's also the false advertising here, bud.
That's right. We had it locally, too. Guys last night wearing these Leaf sweaters.
Yeah.
Right? I thought that they would be better than what they were.
So they were advertising themselves as a hockey
Toronto Maple
team.
Leafs, yeah.
And they
Professional.
absolutely... Okay, we're not.
So we got the same problem too, Atlanta.
Sure.
Yeah. Except for there's more of them.
They stole our hearts. They stole our dreams.
Thank you for listening to the Daily Derringer podcast.